Yes, sir. You signed the court's paperwork?
Were we talking to me, Patty?
No, I was asking the judge.
Oh, okay. We're still signing things here.
I think we have one more form to sign.
Okay, now Judge, check it again, the Adobe.
Another again? Okay, there's another one. Mr. Tagle, you are a U.S. citizen?
Big case, Judge?
Huh? Mr. Tagle, you are a U.S. citizen?
Yes, yes, Judge.
Thank you.
Go to your email.
Okay, I just signed it.
You just signed the state's paperwork? Judge, the discovery plea agreement?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Okay, then we're ready to proceed.
I don't see anything else. I said, signed a couple of documents.
Ashley, do you show that he's already signed discovery and plea agreement?
Mhm.
Ashley,
I'm checking, Patty, 1 second.
thank you.
Okay, Patty, I show that Mr. Tagle still needs to sign the obstruction packet.
Okay, thank you. Robert, did you hear that?
Patty, we just sent everything back. It looks like that's all we have for him.
Oh,
See if we just got it. We just
It It has been signed. Yeah.
Okay,
it's been
perfect.
sent. And
Okay, thank
Robert dropped out of the Zoom.
Okay, I think someone else is getting them back on another computer.
Okay, just wanted to let
Sorry.
you know.
Okay,
No
thank
problem.
you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, he's coming back now, Judge. Mr. Valdez is on now, Judge.
Yes.
Do I have anything more to sign?
Unless they're gonna send you the dismissals right now. But otherwise, that's all for the plea.
Okay. Okay, they had not sent me the amendment, but that's okay.
I'm muted.
Is that what you're signing now, Judge?
I'm just signing the amendment.
Okay.
Okay, we ready to proceed? Because I can always get the dismissals afterwards.
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is ready.
Mr. Do you go by Tagle or Tagle?
Tago, Judge.
Sir?
Tago.
All right. Mr. Jonathan Adam Tagle, would you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. Mr. Tagle, you were originally charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol content of 0.15 or higher, which is commonly called extreme intoxication. That's basically twice as much as the legal limit. Now, it is my understanding that you have reached an agreement with the help of your attorney and the state on a plea. And in addition, there are two other cases under case number 630074 and 630075. Before we complete the plea, in particular on 630076, the DWI charge, I need to inform you of particular rights. You have rights and protections that are afforded by the Constitution and statutes. One is you have the right to remain silent. That means you do not have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit written paperwork, especially papers that have your signature and admit or confess to wrongdoing. You understand you have that right?
Yes, Judge.
You have the right to a jury trial. That means you and your attorney and participating with the state could select 6 citizens from a jury panel of disinterested citizens to hear this trial, all of the information, evidence, testimony, everything. And they, the 6, would decide whether you have been cleared, that is found not guilty, or whether you have been proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. That's the right to a jury trial. You have the right to confront witnesses. If you decided to go to trial, the state would have to try and prove you guilty by submitting testimony, evidence. If that were the case, you would have the right, you and your attorney would have the right to question, cross-examine, or challenge any witness who would testify. That's called the right of confrontation. You have a right of appeal. When all of this is done, when the dust settles and this case is over, you would have the right to appeal. You alone or your attorney alone or the two of you together could demand that a higher court review the official record and the evidence for any legal challenge you wanted to make. Now, I tell you this with caution. Appeals are difficult because you have to submit the right paperwork with the right information. In addition, you also have time limitations. You have to do certain things within a certain amount of time. That's called the right of appeal. You also have the right to demand that this proceeding be held in the open public courtroom. Because of the COVID pandemic, we've not been doing that. So that required you to sign a document that identifies you, as all these documents do. It identifies you, and you have signed a document that's titled Consent to Video Conference. That's how we're doing this. Instead of in the courtroom, live, we're doing it live by computer. So did you in fact read and understand the consent to video conference?
Yes, Judge.
All right, now there's several other documents that you have reviewed and signed. These documents, did you review and sign them with the guidance and the counsel of your attorney, Mr. Robert Valdez?
Yes, Judge.
Let's talk about some of those critical documents. One of them is, again, it identifies you by name, case number, and court number. And it is titled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. I have just discussed with you your constitutional rights, and that was by way of discussion. It's being recorded by the official court reporter, Ms. Kayleen Rivera. In this case, you are being told in writing in that document, and you sign and acknowledge that you understand these different rights have been explained to you and you're aware of them. There's also about 14 separate individual paragraphs that provide information and require you to acknowledge or understand certain things. One of the particular things is our statements or information is that whatever deal you've made with the state, I don't have to accept it. The fact is that as a judge, I have the authority and the responsibility. I'm required to say yes or no to your deal. And I can give you whatever punishment is properly within the range of punishment for the offense to which you plead, even if the punishment is greater than what you agreed to. So this document tells you, if I refuse your deal, if I reject it, or if I give you a punishment properly within the range, but greater than what you agreed to, in either case, the law would allow you to start all over again, and nothing that you said would be used against you. Is that clear?
Yes, Judge.
And that was in that document that you signed. You understand that?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Now there's another document. It's titled Trial Court's Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. I mentioned to you a while ago verbally, we discussed the fact that you have a right of appeal. But as part of the plea bargain that you made, that you're making right now, you give up the right of appeal if you accept the plea bargain. And I approve it. Do you understand that?
Yes, Judge.
And that's in that document, the certification of defendant's right of appeal. Now, you've also applied for probation. And what kind of probation is he getting, Ms. Haas?
Deferred, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Tagle, you're getting deferred adjudication probation. Mr. Valdez has gotten a remarkable deal for you. I'm sure you're aware. And as a result of that, you're going to get a sentence where, first of all, I do not convict you under Texas law. I will accept your plea, and your plea will be sufficient for me to convict you, but I won't. And you'll be placed on deferred adjudication. That is, I'll suspend or postpone the finding of guilt And if you live up to 100% of the conditions of supervision, every bit of it, then the case will be dismissed and you're not convicted of it under Texas law. Is that clear?
Yes, Judge.
Now, there's another side to that coin. If you fail or refuse to live up to 100% of the conditions, then the state may ask me to issue a official notice to you to bring you in for a hearing. And if at that hearing, I think it's appropriate under the law, I will convict you then. And if that's the case, you'll be looking at a fine anywhere from $0 to $2,000 and jail from 0 days to 180 days. Is that clear, sir?
Yes, Judge.
All right. So then, state, you have a motion.
Yes, Your Honor. The state moves to amend the information at count 2 of obstruction of a highway, and then moves to abandon count 1 and proceed on count 2.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, there are no objections to the motion. In addition, Mr. Valdez, do you waive the 10-day notice on amendment?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, there being no objection and having waived the 10-day notice, the court grants the motion. Mr. Tagle, you're now charged with obstruction of a passageway, highway, or waterway. You're no longer charged with a DWI. Now, to that charge of obstruction of a passageway, highway, or waterway, how do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you clearly.
Guilty, Judge.
All right. Did anyone threaten you, intimidate you, or promise you anything other than the plea bargain in exchange for your plea of guilty?
No, Judge.
All right. I accept your plea of guilty. I find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not. I am honoring the agreement to grant you deferred adjudication. State, recite for us, please, the recommendation that has been worked out between you and the defense on punishment.
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for 12 months deferred adjudication, $500 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, Crime Stoppers fee of $50, DWI intervention program, DWI victim impact panel, live tap evaluation, ignition interlock for 6 months. And the state would take into consideration
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Ignition interlock for 6 months.
Yes?
And then the state would TIC 630074 and 630075.
Very good. Mr. Valdez, is this your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, that's my understanding of the agreement.
Mr. Tagle, is this your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Tagle, do you have children you support?
Yes, Judge.
How many?
4,
What are their ages?
11, 9, 8, and 7.
All right, and how do you make an income?
I have a full-time job, Judge.
Where do you work and how much do you make?
ABC Supplies. And I make like $15.50 an hour.
All right. That's roughly 600 change a week. So it's
Yeah,
624, 2,600 gross a month. All right. Does your wife work outside the house?
I'm by myself right now, sir. I'm not with them. I pay child support, so I'm not with them.
Are you up to date on your child support?
Yes, sir.
All right. The court will approve the recommendation of the state in the agreement with the defense. You are granted 12 months deferred adjudication. You are to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs. You will complete 48 hours of community service restitution. You'll pay a Crime Stopper fee of $50. You'll do the DWI intervention program, the victim impact panel live. The TAP evaluation and recommendations will be subject to my approval. You'll have ignition interlock for 6 months continuously. During those 6 continuous months, you're not to drive any vehicle other than your own equipped with ignition interlock. Do you drive for your employer?
No.
Okay. The supervisory fee will be $29 a month. The court takes note and grants the motion to dismiss or take in consideration case number 6300174, pardon me, and 6300075. You're required to come into the offices of County Court number 5 within 1 week, 7 days, and have your thumbprint placed on the documents that required by law. In addition, don't leave this hearing until you have met with Patricia. Where is our CLO?
I completely forgot to ask her to log on because it was originally going to be a motion to suppress.
Okay. Get a hold of her and tell her we have,
I will.
stick around, Mr. Tagle. You're going to meet with Maricela Luna. She is the court liaison officer that will start you off on probation. Incidentally, the part of what's going to happen with probation, they are going to read to you every one of your conditions. And you will sign those conditions and they will put a copy in your hands. There'll be no question whether you know what the conditions are. Okay?
Okay, Judge.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Tagle?
No, Judge.
Mr. Valdez
Oh, Your Honor, I do not.
and Ms. Haas for the state?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, then this completes this proceeding. With the exception of Mr. Tagle, stick around a little bit. We'll get Ms.